Good morning and welcome to AMHQ Early. I'm meteorologist Jaqui Jeras. Dark and early here on a Monday morning and feeling like fall in some places, even kind of feeling a little like winter. We've got 55 million people that are under a frost or a freeze warning, while spring-like temperatures are returning to parts of the south. And drought fueling fires across Florida and Georgia this morning. We want to start with the chill now that's blanket. Burlington, you're probably going to stay in the 40s. So that same lingering upper level low is still staying put across the northeast, and notice our skies kind of variable across the region, and this is having a huge impact on your temperatures right now. The clearer your skies are, the chillier your temperatures are. Those clouds holding your temperatures up just a little bit. Most of the moisture that we're seeing swirling here across the northeast not reaching the ground, but we have been seeing a few snowflakes in areas, and we're also getting a little bit of rain into northern parts of Maine. You've got snow in Ottawa, Canada at this time, and look at the temperatures. You're freezing in Binghamton, where skies are a little clear, 32 degrees. It's 37 in Buffalo, while Burlington's at 40 at this hour. Boston at 45 degrees in New York City. So no threat of freezing temperatures, at least not along the I-95 corridor. So this upper low is going to continue to draw in that cool air across the northeast and mid-Atlantic states, and it's actually going to kind of retrograde backwards with a new low developing here. So we're going to continue to see this trophy pattern into the northeast, and that means the cold that's sticking around for now is actually going to stay, not just today, not just tomorrow, but in fact, much of the work week ahead is going to be chilly. So if you haven't brought that sweater out, if you haven't brought that jacket out, you're definitely going to need it, and it's worth it because you're going to need it for days to come. Here's the forecast high temperatures, about 5 to 15 degrees below average, 59 in New York, 56 in Pittsburgh today, 63 in Washington, D.C., and there you can see tomorrow in the 50s and 60s once again. Danger remains high across Florida as well as into southern Georgia. The Mims fire is in the Okefenokee Swamp. This was actually started a month ago on April 6th from lightning, and now the fire has gotten out of control with the dry conditions as well as some gusty winds. The number of acres burned now approximately 137,000. It is only 12% contained, and they are expecting it's going to take until November. That's right, I said November before this fire is completely out. Now, it's not unusual to have fires in this parts of the country, and we've got quite a few of them. In fact, about 30 large wildfires are burning across Florida, and when you can include some of the smaller ones as well, the number adds up to more than 100. We've got very dry conditions. Look at the humidity expected this afternoon. It's going to be down there around 25% around Jacksonville, where you've been dealing with a lot of smoke from the fires throughout the weekend. Now, we'll have a little bit of recovery in humidity into the overnight hours, but then you get into the afternoon tomorrow and it's going to be down there in the 20 to 30% range. Now, unfortunately, to add insult to injury, we've got a large area of high pressure, which is going to be shifting eastward, and that means the temperatures that have been warm this weekend across Florida and parts of the southeast are going to build. In fact, we're going to be going from the 80s to start our work week, and we're going to end up in the 90s as we head towards the middle of the week. So here's a look at the forecast highs today: 84 in Jacksonville, 89 in Tampa, and 85 degrees in West Palm Beach. We want to take you coast to coast now and check on your Monday morning weather headlines. To start thinking about the weekend, and if you are going to be traveling across the country today, there could be a couple of delays into the northeast due to the clouds and the gusty conditions. A slight risk of a few thunderstorms into eastern Colorado as well as into New Mexico. And notice tomorrow that will be into western parts of Texas. As we head into Wednesday, our storm system finally makes it towards the nation's midsection, and some of the flood areas are going to get a little bit more rain. Notice a severe weather threat Wednesday and Thursday into the central plains states. And Thursday we'll see a few showers push towards the mid-Atlantic. That will be the case on your Friday as well, with a threat of severe thunderstorms along the Gulf Coast states. And we'll have to keep our eye out for the weekend. The model's trying to pick up some time of a coastal system potentially as we head into your Saturday and Sunday. So that means we are going to be seeing kind of another raw and cool weekend across parts of the northeast. Well, coming up, a check on the roads when AMHQ returns. 29 past the hour now as AMHQ early is rolling on. We're cruising through this morning already. How about that? 55 million people are waking up under frost advisories or freeze warnings. That chill being felt from the Great Lakes all the way to the northeast. Let's take a look at the conditions across parts of the southeast. We have quite a few large fires that are burning across the state of Florida right now with very dry conditions in place. In fact, if you take a look at Florida as a whole, more than 80% of the state is either abnormally dry or in some type of drought condition, the worst of which is across central parts of Florida, just to the north and west of Lake Okeechobee. Rainfall the next couple of days is not looking very good. In fact, we had a cold front move through yesterday. It was a dry cold front, and that's kind of unusual for Florida. Usually we think of it as being kind of warm and humid and kind of muggy, but rain chances are pretty minimal. Here's a look at all the active large wildfires. So when we put these numbers on here, that means 100 acres or more. So there's 30 of them burning across fire in the region. And keep in mind that one of the largest, that Sims fire, is in southern Georgia and near the Florida state line. Humidity for today, well, in the early morning hours, it's a little bit higher, but then as the sun comes up and our air mass remains kind of dry, we're going to drop down there to some critical levels around 25% or so for today. As we head into tomorrow, we're expecting more of the same. So an elevated fire risk. Our winds are going to be pretty persistent coming in out of the west-northwest, and that means that smoke plume is going to be blowing over towards Jacksonville once again. A large area of high pressure is going to be controlling the Gulf Coast states as well as Florida, and unfortunately, Florida is going to see some near record temperatures as we head into Wednesday. We head coast to coast now for your Monday morning weather headlines. A